Hello, everyone. My name is Kelsey Wheeler, and I'm a co-founder of Tulip. And at Tulip, we're building new strategies to manage infections inspired by uh, the body's own way of managing tricky diseases with mucus. And today I'm going to tell you the story of how we are re-engineering this piece of human biology to manage a really common women's health issue. Our next step as a company is to spin out from MIT, and with that in mind, we are looking to identify technical staff to build out our R&D. We're looking for early conversations with potential co-developers, and we're also raising a pre-seed round to advance our lead polymer optimization program. So the first problem we want to tackle is bacterial vaginosis, or BV. BV is the most common vaginal infection affecting 1 in 3 women. And each year in the United States, BV is responsible for over 10 million office visits and nearly $1.4 billion spent on treatments. And unfortunately, the reality is that for most women, these treatments won't work. Antibiotics don't work for about a third of women due to antibiotic resistance and tolerance. And even when antibiotics do work, these women often develop secondary yeast infections, or for over half of women, they have a BV recurrence within a few months. And this happens again and again. And the problem with your BV keep coming back, it's not just that it's uncomfortable, which it is, but it also brings with it some serious risks of complications, including STI acquisition, cervical cancer, preterm birth, infertility, and men aren't off the hook either because this disease transmits partner to partner. So it turns out the body already has a very elegant way of protecting us from these types of infections, and that's mucus. And I know when you hear mucus, you're probably imagining a gross waste product like snot, but the reality is this is a really sophisticated material that protects the entire body, all wet surfaces, not just your nose, but also your eyes, lungs, gut, and reproductive tract. And the key to this protection are mucin polymers. And as you can see, these purified mucins form a dense, hydrating mucus gel. And if you were to zoom in, you would see that microbes live intimately embedded within the mucin network. Now, we're pretty good at building synthetic biogels that can mimic the sticky, slimy properties of mucus, but mucins do a lot more than just trap microbes. They fundamentally change the way they behave, shifting potentially problematic microbes into a less harmful state. And because mucins target their behavior rather than killing them, they aren't at risk of developing resistance like antibiotics are. But there was an initial challenge in leveraging this insight. Mucins were too complex to produce at scale, and these synthetic biogels just weren't designed to manage pathogens. So over the last 15 years, we figured out how mucins actually work. We deconstructed the complex molecule, identified specific biochemical signatures that tame pathogens, and then tethered them onto complex polymers in order to generate a scalable synthetic. And not only do these materials retain the gel-forming properties of mucus, but they also can tame pathogens without disrupting the microbiota. And the beautiful thing about mucin biology is that this strategy of infection management isn't specific to the reproductive tract. Mucus is everywhere, and indeed, we've already identified polymers that can address pathogens across the body. So what may start as a solution for BV may have broad applications and reshape how we manage infections across the body. And we've made some real progress. We've already attracted $2 million in grant funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to develop our BV product. We've begun early IP filing, and we've also demonstrated in vitro biocompatibility and efficacy of our lead polymer against key BV pathogens. Where we are right now is getting ready to form our company, and with that in mind, we're building out our R&D and securing lab space so that we can advance our lead polymer into in vivo proof of concept studies. And when you look at the landscape, it's clear why our innovation is so urgently needed. Antibiotics, analgesics, and probiotics don't address the root cause of BV, which is a disruption to the mucosal barrier. Our mucin mimics bolster this barrier, preserve microbial balance, and may even prevent these infections from occurring in the first place. This is our founding team. We bring over a decade of expertise in mucin biology, and we've also teamed up with some really experienced entrepreneurs that will help us commercialize. So right now, as I mentioned, we're raising a pre-seed to advance our lead polymers to in vivo validation studies. And to that end, we're also looking to hire key technical staff to build out our R&D, and we're seeking co-development partners to scale our solution and also help us bring it to market. So if this sounds interesting to you, I invite you to come talk to us at Table 14. I'd love to deep dive into the data with you. So thank you so much.